Hey guys, welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Andrew Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Binder, Nintendon, and Johnny from Some Call Me Johnny to give our predictions for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Oh, and one more thing, and that's the fact that after we recorded this discussion, a supposed leak did come out for the European Nintendo Direct that seems to showcase or reveal some of what might be talked about tomorrow. So you'll find a short addendum at the end of this video that goes over all the leaked details. And with that, let's get back to the discussion. Alright guys, so it's finally happening, we're finally getting another Nintendo Direct, about 4 months since, almost exactly 4 months since the last one, which means I think there's some things for Nintendo to catch up on. So I thought it'd be fun for us to, each give our predictions, either in a roundtable format or just very casually. I don't know how this is gonna go, we'll see. And Nintendo did give us some idea of what to expect. Specifically, they'll be talking about 3DS and Wii U games planned through summer 2016, and that there'll be no NX nor mobile news. So I'm gonna start things off here. So my first prediction is it's going to be at least slightly longer than the Pokemon Direct. So I'm saying at least 7 minutes here.
That's a very bold prediction. That's a very bold prediction.
I know, right?
Should we start with animated Pokemon Sun and Moon logos?
Oh, that'd be something, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
I think 4 screenshots, just like Super Mario Bros. 2 in like 2012. 4 screenshots.
I'm gonna be absolutely confused. I didn't catch that Pokemon Direct for the record, just I want to know my positioning here, but if they actually show footage in this Direct, I'm wondering what the point of that Pokemon Direct would be in the first place.
Yeah, that'd be my prediction, is that there's going to be nothing about Pokemon Sun and Moon in this one.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't see it happening.
But you're saying, Johnny, then you're seeing no point to the Pokemon Direct if there isn't footage here or anything here, right?
Yeah. Because it'll give us more than what the people got last week, which was nothing, just logos.
But I don't think they're going to show anything here. I think they're going to hold off, because I feel like if they were ready to show off something, they would have just done it last week. So I'm not predicting. I don't think we'll get any Pokemon stuff here, even though I think they should. Especially because it's probably a fall title, which means it probably won't be covered in a Direct covering games through the summer.
They probably should, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. There's going to be nothing Pokemon related, Pokemon Sun and Moon related. We'll still probably get Pokemon tournament stuff.
Yeah, I do think it's sort of disappointing because that game is still coming out this year, so it's kind of lingering. So having that holding that back when it's already like March seems a bit weird, but we'll see.
However, I do think I'm going to get some of the boring stuff out of the way. So I think some of the main stuff they are going to cover this time, at least to some degree. Actually, they may not spend that much time on most of these, but we're going to see, I think, a short thing on Twilight Princess HD since it comes out in a few days. We're going to see a little bit more of Hyrule Warriors Legends because that also comes out pretty soon in the US. And we'll see more on Pokken Tournament, which again comes out soon. And they actually haven't shown. I guess we know a lot about the game at this point, but I feel like they might spend a little bit more time on that than the other two I just mentioned.
For that, like the basic Nintendo audience that usually solely watches like the basic news sites and some Nintendo Direct, they might not have seen enough of Pokken Tournament just yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But the majority who are really into video games likely have seen enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to me, I'm dropping a bombshell here, because if they haven't outright canceled it at this point, I'm thinking we're finally going to see something from Metroid Prime Federation Force.
I think that is a very safe bet.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell has happened to that game since last June. Maybe all those dislikes actually do mean something to Nintendo in their channel, but I'm thinking we're going to get something related to that game. Ideally, I like to see another completely new Metroid game. It's like an actual sequel to Fusion or something like that, but that's wishful thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be Federation Force related. That's, to me, my biggest prediction for this Direct.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It is so strange they have not talked about it at all since E3, and there was that one rumor that's saying it is supposed to come out in spring of this year, and I'm like, really?
Whoa, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that guy that did all those rumors that have mostly been coming true about the NX and Zelda NX and all that. We did a discussion about it, a little earlier. One of the things he said is that spring, early summer, Metroid Prime Federation Force will come out, and if it does, I'll be a little shocked because, yeah, that just seems with going from nothing to okay, here it is.
Considering the silence on that game, wouldn't be surprised if they said at least something about it, because it's kind of killing it. Because the last time they talked about it is E3. They did a whole segment on 3 Hours Live. It's not like you're gonna leave that be, especially since that soccer-ass minigame was actually really fun.
I'm not sure if I agree.
Yes, sir, but let me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay.
I do think the minigame was really cool. I do feel that the slice they showed of the 4-player mission stuff was really rough at the time.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
that-
totally agree.
Like you couldn't go either left or right. It just basically focused just going straight forward, and it was over in a few minutes. So it didn't seem like they had much going for it just yet. And if it comes out like before the summer starts, I am really shocked.
It is kind of crazy that it's been close to a year since we've seen it, being at E3. But with that said, this is Nintendo. I don't think this is the first time they've gone radio silent and be like, hey, it's coming out in a few months. And
Oh yeah.
And based on the just how reliable this source seems to be so far with the lineup. Actually, I guess before I get to that, so Nintendo did specify that this Direct will cover games up through summer, and the leaker who had those NX and among other rumors, he basically leaked the entire spring and early summer lineup. And I'm gonna throw it out there. I think everything he said, I do think everything he said basically is going to come true. And especially in regards to the lineup he mentioned, and among that is Federation Force. So I do think, not only do I think it'll be shown, I think we'll get a release date, and I think it will be by the latest, or at the latest, sometime this summer.
I'm guessing they just want to push it out. We know about the feedback. Let's just get it out there, take our loss, and then work on what people really want.
It seems like something they would put out in May, because May is usually the month where they don't put out that high-key releases usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point when they release it. It could be the beginning of summer, the beginning of spring. It could be half off on Christmas. It won't do. It won't do well.
Look, if you look at the release schedules of the last couple of years, especially in North America, not much gets released by Nintendo in June.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a summer game, I would say it would be coming out in May, because it has a more possibility than coming out somewhere in the summer where everybody forgets it.
Especially because it would precede E3 too then, in which case it might just be completely forgotten about. Especially
that's okay. It's only going up against Uncharted 4.
I don't think there's too much crossover in the demographic there, though.
No, there's no. There's zero demographic between the Uncharted audience and the Federation Force audience.
I will say, if they do show it off, I want to be impressed by it, because it's not really a Metroid game, but that Treehouse segment did look like it could be fun if they just smoothed out the edges, and if you go into it with an open mind. I don't know if that'll actually happen, but please, I still want a fun game, because I'm going to have to review this, and I kind of don't want to have to review a bad game.
I do kind of trust next level games. I mean, their pedigree at least makes it seem that it will be a decent game at the very least. So I'm not gonna like be angry at it until I played it.
Right.
Because beyond the minigame, we barely played anything of that game.
Yep. Alright, now going off this leaker again, this is actually a pretty good overall idea of what the 3DS might have to offer. He says that Mario and Sonic Rio 2016 is going to be coming out sometime in the spring and early summer. I think that makes sense, so we'll see that in the Direct, especially because that game's out in Japan. You've been playing it, Don, so...
Yeah, the 3DS version is out there. I'm more still surprised that they haven't talked a single bit about the Wii U game.
That's true. We've seen almost nothing of that. Hell, I feel like we barely even seen the 3DS one.
Since the mini Direct on the 1st of June, they have not talked about the Wii U version since.
Yep. That is surprising. Well, I think this might be their chance. I mean, I think actually this will be their chance. I think they will show it off then.
They kind of have to, because there are some people who actually love these games, especially in the family setting.
But they sell like hotcakes, from what I always hear.
Yeah, they sell like hotcakes, so it kind of makes sense to put it as soon as possible out there, especially with those games already coming, like, what is it, at the end of the summer.
Right.
So this still gives a couple of months for people to actually play it and have fun with it.
Yep, that's true. I think that would make a lot of sense. Next up, he mentions Disney Art Academy, Bravely Second, and also among Federation Force, he also mentioned there's a codename Caviar F game, which apparently that codename is referred to Pokemon Rumble games in the past. So in this case, this would be, Pokemon Rumble, what's it called? World, yeah, Pokemon Rumble World. Yeah. So, Yeah, so those are it for the spring, early summer titles. And then he also mentions Dragon Quest 7. And then,
Oh, God.
man, I'm trying to remember what these other codename games refer to. Do you remember, Derek?
Well, there's the whole Torch City one that people they're sort of trying to think that might be Yokai Watch 2, which when we did the earlier discussion, we thought that might be a little early for the next Yokai Watch since the other one just came out in November.
Yeah.
What would you guys think about that, like Johnny and Don? Do you think I know you probably have no interest in Yokai Watch.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to I don't. I say this. I don't care about that game.
I think you and most of the American public, it seems.
You know what? I have a bit of a grudge against Yokai Watch. It's not the game's fault. It's not the fans' fault. But I was done puzzle street passes when I went to the Zelda Symphony concert. I get back home, I get a spot pass update, and they add a Yokai Watch puzzle.
I love that.
So
you thought you were done. Nope.
Screw you, Yokai Watch.
So answering your question concerning Yokai Watch. So here's the thing. Level 5 has been more active here in Europe because they also yearly released Inazuma 11 games and also way quicker, for example, Ace Attorney vs Phoenix Wright in Europe. So, and those games seemed always on like a 9 to 10 month schedule. So summer would sort of line up. It would seem a bit early, but it's possible. The one thing I will say though is that Yokai Watch is far larger than the first game, and I think there are also 2 versions of it.
Okay.
And of course.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
And honestly, it makes more sense to release a game like Yokai Watch in the summer rather than November.
Especially since they'll avoid the whole Pokemon competition.
Oh yeah.
I would think that would be like late summer though, something like August.
All right, so that. Oh, I guess the other codename here is Cadillac, which refers to Style Savvy 2. So that potentially could, or yeah, 2, right, or whatever it's called.
2.
What are we getting? We're getting Cadillac DLC for Mario Kart 8 now.
About time.
I will be honest. This game came out last year as New Style Boutique 2. I fucking sorry. Yep. I really love that game.
All right.
More so than I thought I would. But no, that game is really in depth. It's kind of like a model boutique RPG. It's really, really crazy.
Huh. All right, so
I mean, you recommend it, but you enjoy it, but I was like, I'm never even going to attempt to play that game. It's just not for me. But
you say that? I said that same. I am completely turned over by it.
Huh. Well, that's impressive for a game to be able to do, like have completely mess with your expectations. So I guess the big one though, going beyond these rumors, since they're only 3DS related, do you guys think we'll actually get the official reveal of Paper Mario Wii U?
This is going off those rumors from like a month ago.
from the Emily Rogers and
I would love for that to be a thing. Well, I would love it to be a thing in like based off Thousand Year Door in terms of gameplay formula. But yeah, you know, I'd totally be down for that. I'm not expecting it, but I'd totally be down for it. And well, I mean, here's hoping.
Well, yeah, I mean, so according to the rumor, like the people who reported this rumor were pretty adamant that it is a real thing. In which case, if it is, I feel like this will be the time to announce it. Assuming the NX comes out this year, focus will soon be shifted to that, especially post E3.
Absolutely.
So I feel like this is the time to really show Paper Mario, and that would be such a big game to show off for this Direct. Yeah, like I really hope that's true. And while I'm not I'm not totally convinced by the rumor. Like, I am leaning toward it, but it did seem so positive that this is a thing. So
I really believe that this is a thing, at least from stuff that I've heard. The thing that I will say though is that I am very worried with the direction of that game.
Sticker Star 2.
Well, after Sticker Star and Super Paper Mario was a more interesting experiment to me. I mean, it didn't totally work on any level, but at least the story and some of the beats were really fun. Sticker Star felt really empty in some places.
In the entire game.
Like,
Well, that's what happens when a game doesn't have a soul.
It looked really great and the soundtrack was really fantastic, so it didn't completely fail, but it didn't really under-deliver in the grand areas, in the areas that really mattered. So considering that they're trying this again, I really hope that they have some more interesting stuff going forward, because else, I'm not really hopeful either way, even if it does get announced.
It's so simple. All they have to do is make a Paper Mario game. Not this, not Super Paper Mario, not Sticker Star. Make Paper Mario. It's not complex.
Like, you remember what you did 1,000 Year Door? Just do it again.
Exactly, right? Find the
That's
million-year-old
all people
door.
want.
Yeah.
You could just make Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door HD and people would still go nuts.
That's true.
I would be all over that.
I would be too. Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
I would instantly buy that. I mean, that would be incredible.
That's day zero purchase.
I got my pre-order, then I assault the GameStop. In my mind, Intelligent Systems has to realize that they know what people want out of a Paper Mario game. The people have been extremely vocal about it ever since Sticker Star came out. So if they do announce a Paper Mario Wii U, I am gonna just be confident and say it is gonna be like 64 and 1,000 Year Door. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put my hat in that ring.
Derek, I want you to realize that the 1,000 Year Door came out more than 10 years ago. They have not made a game like that since.
It's time. They can totally do it.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Hey, to be fair, how long's it been since they made a true Star Fox game, and we're now just finally getting one?
On that note, I don't know if you said that for a segue, as I see what you did there. But, all right, so I've been hearing a few of my friends, a few associates online talking about another Star Fox delay. Is there a basis for these rumors?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that, or?
Yeah, I will try to do my best on this one. So, again, this is from hearsay. Nothing about this can be 100% confirmed ever, but this is what I heard. So after the E3 happened, they implemented a completely different control scheme that was more motion control focused. When that game went to NOE and NOA for testing, they were not really all that fussed about it. And they told NCL, so Nintendo in Japan, as much. What comes from that, I'm not sure. It could be that it gets delayed. At the same time, it is also NCL, so they probably want to release this thing before the NX really becomes a thing.
But I feel like Nintendo did specify this would be a spring and summer direct, and I feel like they have to show Star Fox again. So assuming they hold true to this being games coming out relatively soon, I feel like Star Fox will remain, at least, I mean, if there's a delay, I think it'd be a relatively mild one. It will still come out by summer.
I mean, again, they kind of have to.
Yeah.
They don't really have a choice, I think, in the matter right now. I mean, that game has been going through the delay after delay. If it gets another delay, at least let just be it a couple of months, because they can't afford much longer. Because people will lose faith either way.
Yeah. Well,
I think people are already losing faith.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have already lost faith, exactly.
Yeah. But people who are still Star Fox fans, I have still people who follow me who are really waiting for Star Fox Zero to come out.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, I went on the record saying when I played it at PAX, it actually, like, I actually got used to the controls then. But I played it at that point by, like, 3 or 4 separate times. And by the 4th time, it started clicking. So there is a learning curve there.
I don't think it's Mighty Number Fox just yet. It's still got a bit of leeway before it starts getting nothing but negative press.
Let's be real about this. Not every single person has that opportunity, so I can see from a regular consumer standpoint that that game has problems. And problems that might not click with every single consumer quite in a good way. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep, we will see what happens. So at the very least, at the very least, they will be showing that game off. I think
they have to. They've
barely shown anything more of that game off since E3. We had a couple new things in the previous direct, but beyond that, they have not shown much more off. So this will be its big blowout, I think, where they'll give us. Oh, and actually, here's a question. This kind of ties into one of my own. Another point I was gonna bring up. I'll just tie into this. I have a feeling on some level we'll get new Amiibo, and I think because the Amiibo line's running out. Like everything they've announced is almost out. And we know nothing beyond that point, and I think we've seen how Nintendo loves to throw in Amiibo into pretty much almost every major release, or several major releases in some way, especially to help a game that may not sell well, like Chibi Robo, for instance, had that Amiibo. I think they might do the same for Star Fox. We might get an Amiibo bundle with Star Fox.
That would make sense.
Yeah, like a bundle like the Smash Brothers version of Fox and Falco.
I would think we'd get maybe a new Star Fox line, potentially with, like including Slippy, for instance, who's been neglected up to this point. Rightfully so, but...
You heard it there first. It will come with a Slippy Amiibo.
I'm sure that's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
No, I could see them doing something for like having maybe like a new Fox and like Wolf, or maybe just new Fox, new Falco, sort of like the Super Mario Brothers line. Or they could go really cool and like give us an R-Wing Amiibo. That'd be awesome.
Actually, yeah, they could do that too.
That'd be cool. A part of me kind of hopes, and I know because we're on the heels of Twilight Princess HD coming out. I like the idea of the Wolf Link Amiibo with Midna on top. I kind of just want an individual Midna Amiibo, to be honest. Which would probably promote all the other fairies getting their own Amiibo, which I wouldn't have any problem with. But I want Midna first.
Right.
Yeah, right. There's still a lot they can do with Amiibo. It's just a matter of which ones they choose to focus on. Because there's no way that Zelda Wii U is not going to also have.
We need a fifth version of Mario.
Talking about Mario and Amiibo, I think they will talk about Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge for the West.
I absolutely agree. I guess the main question is, do you think, in Japan, the way they released it, at least at first, was interesting, and that you can only get it by buying an Amiibo? Like, it came with, like, a download code or something, and you could download the game that way. Do you think they'll replicate that here, or do you think they'll just make it straight-up eShop title?
I think they make it a straight-up eShop title, because you kind of need the Amiibo either way. Like, how the game is structured up, and I finished it the other week, is that for every section of the map you need the separate Amiibos that are attached to it. Only like the main line, the main road, you can use any Amiibo that you want, but for really specific stuff you need the mainline Mario Amiibo to make it function. So the promotion doesn't make sense either way, I think.
Right.
Yeah, you can't go either way. Well, I mean, I think it'd be better if you released it as the Amiibo bundle, because if you release it digitally and things are locked out because of Amiibo necessity, people will view that as a paywall. That's a giant no-no in the community. So I think, well, that actually just sounds dumb either way. So, but if you gotta go, if you gotta be A or B about it, I would just say go with the Amiibo route.
That seems like it would make the most sense. I mean, either way, how many people really care about this game? I don't think the latest Mario and Donkey Kong even did that well.
Well, I mean, they must be doing well enough for them to keep cranking them out. So that is literally what that studio does. Is they just make Mario vs. Donkey Kong games.
And I will say at least this one has some interesting ideas.
That's good.
Because like for example with Rosalina, you have to use the stylus to hit the stars and she will move around into the air. There's some really interesting stuff done. There's some nice remix, some nice music, and every one of those characters actually uses its traits. So I do think there is some value there. But yeah, I don't think that the most will really care about Mario vs. Donkey Kong in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't, but... well, speaking of games with Amiibo support that I think could be announced during the Direct, Picross 3D 2. I think we might see that game, which came out in Japan, I think, late last year.
It came out it came out on my birthday, October 8th.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll see that.
Yeah, maybe it's part of a clip show. I don't think they're going to put any.
No, it won't be a focus, but they.
I mean, it's already confirmed for Europe through that trademark, so I definitely think America's going to get it as well.
Okay.
So we'll see tomorrow probably.
Now, I think there is a big game here that kind of ties into the Paper Mario rumor we already mentioned, and that's coming from the same sources like Emily Rogers. She had strongly suggested or hinted at Although since then she's kind of stepped away from the idea that she put out that rumor. But the rumor is Mother 3 is finally coming to the West, and this would be, I think, if that is indeed true, this would be the time to announce it.
Of all the rumors that I've heard of the last couple of months, I think this one has been the strongest. And the last thing I've heard, it's literally done and on a shelf somewhere.
Really?
It's like Earthbound Beginnings.
Yeah.
Likely.
Oh, we've been holding out the entire time.
Just waiting for that perfect moment.
They've, to be fair, in defense of Earthbound Beginnings, that was already done. This one they've done more recently.
Oh, okay.
But it is already done so far. I've heard.
I hope that's true, because I would love. I've been wanting to play this game for so long. I tried before with emulators, but none of them got the timing right with the action commands. Plus, I in general don't like using emulators anyway. So I am really hoping this is right. I know a lot of people obviously are hoping this is true, because it's about time.
It'd be the biggest of bombshell. I know if it's true. If I somehow oversleep and miss this direct, if Mother 3 is trending, I know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Almost likely it's real, and I'm not even sure if it'll happen tomorrow, but that's the big question, I think.
If not tomorrow, I think it would have to be before E3, so...
Right,
and I doubt they'll... I don't know if they'll do a direct directly before E3, just because it's E3. The only reason they would do that, I think, is if they were going to reveal the NX before E3 in order to get the name out like they did with the Wii. So, this seems like the prime opportunity.
I do not see another direct happening before E3, because at that point everyone's already now have their minds on the NX. And if you do another E3 before E3, if you do another direct before E3, people are just going to be saying, "When are we finally getting the NX news?" And it won't matter what they show that direct. Yeah. The people are just going to keep spamming that until it's actually revealed. So yeah, this could very well be the last direct before E3. Why can't E3 be here already?
I know, right?
You say that, and it's just like, oh, good, more work.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I don't do what you guys do, so I'm cool. Like, I can ask that.
Yeah, I know. But no, it is exciting to see everything that's going to be coming out. I mean, I guess the big question is how much they're going to show is how long this direct is going to be. I mean, Andre's already predicted that more than 7 minutes, but are we going to get to the half hour, 45-minute territory, or are we going to get to the more reasonable 20-minute territory?
The last direct we had is 45 minutes, although that did come after a pretty big lull, I think, whereas now it's been 4 months, which I think is not quite as large of a lull as it was last time.
Is it though? 4 months seems a really long time to me.
Maybe it is as long. It does. I agree. It does seem like a long time too.
But if you live and breathe Nintendo, a week can be the longest lull of your life.
But here's the thing: when they were active with this stuff, they did it every 2 months. So I do think that 4 months is a big lull.
So I think that for that reason, I do think it's going to be a long one. I predict minimum 30 minutes. I think they could very well do 45 again.
I think it will be 40 minutes.
The only reason I think it could come in maybe closer to the 30-minute mark is simply because a lot of these big games coming up, we already know so much about. Twilight Princess HD has been covered ad nauseum. I mean, press have had that game for weeks now. Pokken Tournament has been covered pretty extensively as well, though as we mentioned, they could still do some things with that. And then...
Hyrule Warriors Legends.
Hyrule Warriors Legends, again. Same thing with that game, too. It's already out in Japan. What more is there to say?
It really depends on how much they focus on each of these, and as well as the new stuff.
It does.
I think they also might announce some stuff for the eShop. I mean, that seems like a good idea. I mean, Box Boy, other box has been out in Japan for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll probably be part of a sizzle reel, yeah.
They'll probably do a sizzle reel on the Nintendo Selects.
That would make sense, yeah. I should mention, too, the 3DS leaked lineup seemed to only cover retail games. So, yeah, eShop games are totally fair game. And actually, here's a question. I guess that might tie into that. Do you think we'll see Rhythm Heaven Plus come to the US?
Ooh.
I know people really want it. It would make sense as as an exclusive eShop title. I think that'd be the easiest to do, especially since there's so little to translate. So if they're going to do it, if they're going to announce
there's
an eShop title,
there's not so little to translate. There's a lot to translate. They put an actual story in Rhythm Plus.
Oh, see, I've never played those games before, but I know Ash loves them.
Some of the songs have lyrics too, I believe, and they have to translate those as well.
Well, here's the thing: the new minigames in Rhythm Plus is minimal. I think they added like 30 of them, and the rest are all from older games. But it still would mean that they would have to translate the ones that come from, for example, the GBA version, because the GBA version never came out in Europe or North America. And there's a story stuff in there. There's also a lot of local multiplayer-focused content that might have to translate. So I would. It's a big if. I would hope so that it would coming, but I'm not sure either way.
Yeah, I hope it does. I really like the Wii one, so it'll be awesome to see that. But yeah, that's one I'm actually more certain about Mother 3 at this point than I am Rhythm Heaven. So
that's kind of a sad state of affairs.
I know it is, right?
Yeah,
really unfortunate. Let's see here. I think that covers all the big games. Is there anything we're missing? Do you guys have any other ideas for what they might be showing off here?
I would, pie in the sky, you want to say Zelda Wii U, but it's not going to happen. We're not going to.
No.
We might get like a 10-second clip again of Zelda Wii U.
Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, I do look for an English release of Detective Pikachu.
That's a good one. Well, so Derek, I mean, you've been wondering if they would show it off, if they would release it here episodically as well, or if they would just wait until they're all out in Japan and then release it as a single unit, right?
Yeah, but I think there's enough interest out there that it might not be a bad idea to just put it all out and do it episodically like Japan is doing.
Especially tied into the 20th anniversary, right?
Exactly. They would want to get that out this year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They might be just testing waters in the Japanese market though for international release. So I see the bundle happening more likely than episodic.
Another game that I think might be a late summer game is Genai Ibenroku Sharp FE.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard about that in a long time.
I have no idea what you just said.
That's the Shimigami Tensei Crossfire Emblem game.
Okay.
That was a really good point. I think they will show that off. I totally forgot about that game.
Yeah, because it's been out in Japan since December, and they've been showing it off during the American Direct, so it's coming here, and it probably would make sense for a summer release.
Yeah, I think
Nintendo loves RPGs this year. That's for sure.
I mean, it came out in December in Japan, so it might, at the very least, it might be a late summer game because it will take a while to translate, especially with the amount that pop songs in there and the amount of dialogue that's actually in that thing. I recently finished it. It's like 20 hours, so it's not an extremely lengthy RPG, but there's still a lot to translate in that thing.
All right. Any other ideas, guys, for games that might show off?
I think we covered most of our bases here.
Oh, actually, I did want to touch on Zelda U. I don't think that's going to happen for two reasons. One, they did specify spring and summer, although I think they've said stuff like that before and have shown off games from later in the year. In this particular case, I've long said I think Zelda U will also be an NX title, and that Bleaker, assuming he's accurate, also backs that up. And it's for that reason I don't think they will show off the game again until they confirm it as an NX title, until they are able to say, yep, this is coming to NX. And I think that time will either be, at E3, or perhaps potentially a little bit before if they do decide to do some kind of unveil for the NX before E3.
I think that's a very interesting point. If it's going to happen, again, it depends on what Nintendo thinks at the moment. Do they feel that they need to show more of the Zelda game, or are they like, yeah, let's wait until E3. That's the best option now.
The way I'm looking at this is Zelda's going to be a huge title. When they want, assuming it is an NX title, they're going to want to be able to tie any of its marketing into the fact that it's also an NX title, which will double its marketing for the NX. Right. I think there's squander potential if they talk any more about it being a Wii U title before also announcing it as an NX title.
Yeah, if you think about it, we really haven't got a Twilight Princess Skyward Sword-esque trailer for Zelda Wii U. We've got that one shot of the open field and Link being chased by that laser shooting Octorok. I think that's what it is. And he jumped off the back of the horse and all that. And then we had that sequence where Miyamoto and was it
Aonuma, yeah.
Aonuma.
Running through the field on the horseback. But we still haven't gotten that trailer yet. And
Right.
I would thinking, if you're going to show something like that, that's E3. And I think it would be perfect to announce what you just said, Andre. That is Wii U and NX. We're going back to how we did it for the GameCube and Wii. We're doing it again.
Right.
Do that trailer and reveal the title.
Yes.
Oh, so that's why they released Twilight Princess HD. They prepared us for the future.
Yeah, reveal that title. Zelda Wii U, delay till 2018.
That's actually the full title, the proper title of the game.
Man, that's a really long title, but I'm still looking forward to it.
The Legend of Zelda, never coming out.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy.
Well, I do have two final things I want to mention here. Two other ideas. First up is the fact I think we may actually finally get some firm details on the Nintendo account and what the other aspect of that. What's that other thing they're calling it?
My Nintendo.
My Nintendo,
Yeah.
thank you. Because they've already opened up registration for it. I think basically in some major territories. And I think this is the time to finally disclose the details about that program and tell us a little bit more about it. Especially because I don't think that's going to be something they want to do at E3. So I think this would be a great time. People are going to be watching this Direct, and people will want to sign up for an account, which Nintendo will want them to do during the Direct. So
This is something they will definitely do. I think it's even important because, people have been clamoring for that follow-up on Club Nintendo for a while now, since ever it closed. So it would be nice to keep them kind of at bay and say look, this is what we're doing with My Nintendo, and hopefully you will like it. Because they have done some small stuff in Japan, like small experiments to see how My Nintendo flows. For example, you get a coupon to get a discount on your birthday for a game. They also run small promotions, if they detect that you already own, for example, Fire Emblem Awakening, you would get Fire Emblem Fates for 30% off. So,
okay.
they've been trying already these small experiments with My Nintendo, but the West kind of needs a taste of that, I feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly excited for My Nintendo. It sounds like they have a lot of really good ideas of what they want to do with this service. We just need a full explanation of exactly their full plans.
Right.
But it seems very that 30% off for owning Awakenings. That's a great deal.
I just want something akin to Steam, Xbox Live, and PlayStation Network, where, it's starting with the NX and mobile device, downloads and everything, purchase history is account-based, not console-based, because that is the one thing I hate about the Wii U and the Wii, is that, because especially to me, Wii U, I'm all digital. All my games are inside the console,
Yep.
and if something happens to that console, I just lost over $600 in games without having to go through a lot of hoops and hassles to get those games back. Well,
Right, yeah.
with Steam and everything else, I can just download it again by proving who I am. I'm hoping My Nintendo, whatever Nintendo account service they're cooking up, is similar to that, because get with the times, Nintendo, please. I mean, everybody says that, but it's true. Get with the times.
They have said before that moving forward, with the NX, they want to adopt something. They use iOS and Android ecosystems as an example, and I really hope they mean that, because it is, it is really nice being able when you upgrade the phone, you just re-download everything you've already bought. It's ridiculous that Nintendo hasn't offered something along those lines, paying for upgrade fees, for instance, when you move Virtual Console games from the Wii to the Wii U, I think it was.
Or even just having to buy the same NES title on 3DS and Wii U.
Yeah, exactly. So, need to iron out those redundancies.
But you said you had one other?
Yeah, final thing is I believe they have said that this will be the Direct that they are going to introduce a new format for. The previous Direct was the last one using the format that Iwata had pioneered. And now they are going to try something new, it sounds like. At least last we heard. So do you guys have any thoughts as to what they might do for this format? I'm not even quite sure how much they can really mix it up. I mean, it's, it's not like there's too much to them. It's it's hosted, there's some funny segments in there, and then they, as segues to the trailers or information about the games.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, we understand that you can't have a water there, but you can still. I mean, they've had people doing the whole Direct thing there. Keep that legacy going. I don't think there's any real need to change up the flow of it, that they've done so far. beyond like E3 where they do something a little bit more special with whether it's puppets or robot chicken.
All right. No other thoughts as to what they might do, guys, or?
No,
I have
not
no
really.
ideas.
All right. Well, we'll see then. That's gonna be a big mystery. That's actually perhaps the thing I'm most curious about now at this point is what are they going to do for this? So, okay, that's about where we wrapped up the discussion. But since then, some news has come out, or a leak rather, that talks about some of the contents of the Nintendo Direct. So I'm gonna let Derek cover that one. So Derek, take it away.
Hey guys, so after we recorded the discussion, a leak did seem to happen that reveals at least some of the aspects of what the Direct will cover tomorrow. Now keep in mind these are spoilers for the European Nintendo Direct, and some of these might not apply to the North American version. So let's just go over these real quick and see what exactly they cover. So we have an eShop Nindy trailer, so they're going to be showing off the new Nintendo Indies that people can play. A Fire Emblem Fates special hardware and special pack, which likely means that Europe is finally going to get a release date on Fire Emblem Fates, and looks like they're also getting the special edition and the new 3DS console. There's also a game called Lost Reavers, which I believe is the new Project Treasure, which is a free-to-play game that came out in Japan about a year ago, and looks like that's finally coming out. Then there's the main presentation, so we don't know everything that's coming out, but this is going to be their big stuff. Who knows exactly what it entails, though. Next up is Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. The 3DS version is already out in Japan, so we'll probably get a release date for that. And they might show off more of the Wii U version, as we said in the discussion. Looks like they're also doing Metroid Prime Federation Force, including interviews with the developers, which we predicted, but we weren't sure if they were actually going to do it, so it looks like that is going to happen. There's also something called Monster Hunter Generations, and we're not sure if this is part of Monster Hunter X or something completely new, because the other file that's shown is Monster Hunter Generations Cross Fire Emblem. We don't know if there's Fire Emblem-like stuff coming to Monster Hunter Generations, or if this is a full crossover, or anything like that. And then we also get information on Star Fox Zero, which is getting a developer interview, and something called a first print edition. So the delay might not actually happen at all, which some of us believe during the discussion. Finally, it looks like Super Nintendo titles will be coming to the new Nintendo 3DS eShop, and looks like only that. There's no information about it being for the regular 3DS, so that's interesting that they're finally bringing those titles there. To what degree, we're not sure, of course. And finally, there's a little section on Yokai Watch, so it looks like they really could show off Yokai Watch 2, which is something, again, that we talked about during the discussion. So we're right on a couple of things. There's a few surprises in here, and it'll be interesting to see what part of the main presentation is, whether or not they really will talk about Paper Mario Wii U and Mother 3 or anything else that we just don't know about. So, yeah, thanks for listening to this little addendum.
All right, well, I think that about wraps up for us here, guys. So, Don, do you want to tell people where they can find you at?
Sure, you can find me at way too many places, as usual.
Never heard of that place.
Well,
Is that .com? Is that a YouTube channel?
well, do I have to list them all again? Oh my lord.
Just type in Nintendo in Google, it'll take you to all the places.
Go to his Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter at Nintendon, that is NINTNDAAN. YouTube, Go Nintendo, Nintendo World Report, NF Magazine. Whatever you want, it's there, likely.
Awesome. How about you, Johnny?
Alright, well, you can find me at my main channel at youtube.com/somecallmejohnny. I am finally at the tail end of the Metal Gear Marathon currently. I am about to upload my Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2 review for the PlayStation Portable. It's a trip, but I'll get more into that in the video.
An acid trip?
Yeah, with an exclamation point
I took over
in the middle
Andre.
of the C and the D. That's how messed up this game is. Anyway, you can catch it there.
Konami Super Funky Acid Trip.
Yeah,
There
with
you go.
Pachinko.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
All right. Were you going to say something, Derek?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. All right, and that wraps up for us here, guys. So thanks for watching. Of course, keep an eye on Game Explain for more on Nintendo Direct very soon, and other things gaming as well. Catch you guys later. Bye.